something is only an inevitability in the gaming space until someone starts. And because Nintendo started the trend of increasing their first party titles to 80 USD, Microsoft is now doing exactly the same. They are increasing the price of all of their hardware by at least $100 and are going to be releasing first party titles that are going to be priced at $80. And as far as currency goes moving forward, I am only going to be talking about the US dollar. I'm not going to be talking about my local currency because I feel like it would just be a lot easier to use a universally renowned yet well-known currency that everyone can just kind of wrap their heads around. So let's talk about it, because as much as I don't want to use this IGN article, this is basically the best place to kind of see all the prices listed out, both the price that everything is going to be and also what the price of everything is currently. And I can hear a lot of people say, oh, what about Game Pass? Surely that's a cheaper way of looking at games. But the thing about Game Pass is that it just isn't the same as actually buying a game and owning it. Same thing that could be said for just the fact that digital stores exist at all. But above all else, it's only a matter of time before even Game Pass increases in price to the point where people are just not willing to pay that price. Because keeping in mind that, like, if you had Game Pass for 12 months, you were only paying $60 total. You remember those days? Crazy to think about, isn't it? That you could pay $5 a month, and for $60 you'd get Game Pass for a whole year. Yeah, those were the days, weren't they? Anyway, moving on from that, let's talk Microsoft. So, Microsoft is increasing Xbox prices by a lot. So, in an announcement today, the company said it was raising prices on Xbox consoles, controllers, headsets, and some games. They say some games, I'm pretty sure it's going to be quite universal because, again, it's a matter of one company taking the step first, then the second company, then the third, then the fourth, then the fifth. I'm waiting for Sony to come out with their justification as to why they're going to be increasing the prices to $80. Then EA, then Ubisoft, and it just kind of keeps going there. And one thing worth keeping in mind, especially when it comes to Xbox games, is that Xbox games have never been worth $60, let alone the $80 price tag. For something like Expedition 33 to be sold at, I think it was like $45, because in my local currency it's like $90. So I think $45 is about right. For that game to come out after being developed for a few years to $45, and also on top of that sell over 1 million copies, that's crazy, man. Like, that is cool stuff. That is exactly what you want to see from the gaming industry. You want to see stuff like Balatros released and things like that. So it's really unfortunate to see that the AAA space just can't help but get in its own way. So, price effects are taking effect globally, with the exception of headset prices, which are only going up in US and Canada. So, let's talk numbers. The Xbox Series S 512GB, or the half a terabyte, going from $380 to... what? Oh no, it's going from $300 to $380. The S at 1 terabyte is going up from $350 to $430. So the S half a terabyte is going up about $80, and the 1 terabyte is going up $80 as well. So I guess they're both going up $80. Now, here's where the X comes in. The X digital is going from $450 to $550. Alright? The X with the disk drive, which was $50 more expensive originally, is going to remain $50 more expensive, as it also goes up $100 from $500 to $600. And then the Xbox Series X 2 terabyte Galaxy Special Edition, which was already priced at an exorbitant $600, is going up to $730, going up over going up $130 in price. Worth keeping in mind that the Xbox wireless controllers are also going up in price as well. Uh, oh, okay. I'm surprised they don't actually have the price that it's going up to, because I'm pretty sure 65. I'm pretty sure the $60 Xbox controller color is going from $60 to $70, and the core controllers are going up from like $55 to $65. So basically, both of these are going up $10 each. I think the special edition wireless controller was originally $69.99, and now it's $79.99. And of course, the limited edition controller also going up $10. The wireless controller Series 2 core is also going up $10. The Xbox Elite, so the Elite wireless, I don't know why it snapshotted that. So the Xbox Elite wireless Series 2 core is going up $10 from $140 to $150. And of course, the Xbox Wireless Series 2 full controller is going up from $180 to $200 basically. So that's a $20 increase. And the wireless headset going up only in the Americas, and Canada is like $10 there as well, from $110 to $120. As much as I want to use the $9.99 kind of numbers, the problem is that that's actually a psychological tool, because at the end of the day, if you look at something that's like $99.99, it doesn't seem that bad. But when you say something costs $100, that seems a bit expensive, doesn't it? And that's exactly the idea behind pricing things at 99 cents. So yeah, it's just worth keeping in mind that I really don't like the idea of this, nor the thought of it. The price increases are absolutely, they're not worth it. Xbox hasn't been worth buying for the past 13 years, 12 years at this point, I want to say, since 2013 with the Xbox One. Xbox has never been worth buying for the past 12 years. Xbox games are not worth buying, especially at $80, considering that most of Xbox's games are actually of incredibly low quality for the most part. And you might say, what about Expedition 33? It's worth keeping in mind that Expedition 33 is a third-party title. It is not a Microsoft-owned title. It's just that the marketing makes it seem that way, especially if you have seen trailers and things along that extent. They just happen to have a partnership with Microsoft, which ultimately made the gaming partially successful in that sense. When you look at something like an Oblivion remaster, keeping in mind that it wasn't Bethesda that did that Oblivion remaster, it was Virtua Studios, the guys who were working on Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, among other things. So it's worth keeping in mind that while Xbox seems to have, Microsoft rather has a lot of studios under their belt, it's clear that they don't know what to do with those studios, and those studios just seem to be resting on their laurels more than anything else, and aren't really releasing anything particularly good at the moment either. But maybe that's just me kind of trying to extrapolate from what we're currently seeing and where they're currently at, because at the end of the day, if all of these games are going to be multi-platform, then it really does beg the question, what's the point in buying an Xbox in the first place? It was always because of exclusives before, and it most certainly isn't for Game Pass, because you could just grab Game Pass Ultimate and play on PC. You could play through Xbox Cloud. The idea of making everything an Xbox, is that really such a great idea? Because I feel like I could see that collapsing from a mile away, but maybe that might just be me being incredibly pessimistic on the idea of using subscription to actually allow people to play more games, because the thing is that gives the leeway to artificially increase prices of games. But again, maybe I'm just looking at things from an inherently negative perspective in that sense. But yeah, so it's worth keeping in mind that this paragraph here, I think, basically says it best. Though we don't know yet which first-party game Microsoft games will cost $80, we can guess that the lineup may include the next mainline Call of Duty, which Call of Duty has never been worth the price, so of $60, let alone $80. The new Fable, which was recently delayed to 2026, sure enough, I suppose. The Perfect Dark reboot. I think that Perfect Dark game has been in development for so long that if it doesn't cost that much, it's probably never going to be successful from a monetary perspective. In Exile's Clockwork Revolution, sure. Rare's Everwild, which we've not seen anything from besides its original trailer, and have not heard anything besides what Microsoft boss gaming Phil Spencer said when he checked it out. The Coalition's Gears of War E-Day? Sure, I guess. I mean, it's a good way of getting into the franchise, but the problem is it going to come out on PlayStation? That is a big question, whether it's worth getting an Xbox or not. Hideo Kojima's OD, which is, I guess, Hideo Kojima's take on horror, and I don't know if this is also going to be exclusive to Xbox. We'll just have to wait and see. Undead Labs' State of Decay 3 and Psychonauts developer Double Fine is also working on a new game on top of that. And of course, lest we forget that Xbox is having a games showcase this year, sometime in June, and of course they're going to be doing an Outer Worlds 2 Direct as well. So there's a handful of things going on here and there, and sure, it's worth mentioning that PlayStation has also increased their prices of their platform twice in at least 3 years. So I'm not saying that any particular company is innocent of anything. No, in fact, they all suck. That just kind of goes without absolutely saying that, like, the constant increases in prices is going to cause people to think twice about paying for things. But the thing is that the more that I keep complaining about these sorts of things, or the more people in general are complaining about these sorts of things on the internet, on YouTube, it's worth keeping in mind that it very much depends on the numbers. The numbers will speak for themselves. Money speaks louder than words. Whether or not any of this is going to be successful largely depends on the people who are going to be paying the money to make it a success in the end. That's what it ultimately comes down to, in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 500 subs by the end of the year. And because you've watched till the end of the video, you've basically done the best thing that you can do to help support the channel, which is basically watch till the end. So with all that being said, however, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.